All right, we're playing Metal Gear 3, Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater.
Yeah.
You excited, Cody?
I don't know. You'd think about it. Yeah, I am, dude. Actually, after playing the NES one, I want to see a later generation version with a lot of the same tropes.
Yes. They do carry over some of the stuff. And yes, I'm playing on normal. Get over it. I want to beat this game. All right, we're gonna try not to talk over dialogue as much as possible.
The world was split into two, East and West.
This
marked the beginning of the era called the Cold War.
Which is gonna be hard because there's a lot of dialogue.
Brr. So, anyways, I was
Is a Hideo Kojima game.
Oh, that Hideo Kojima.
And David Hayter, you're not familiar with David Hayter, but he is the voice of the Snake through just about everything.
So he's video game famous?
Super video game famous. Interesting note, we'll talk about it in Metal Gear Solid original. All the voice actors in the opening credits
altitude 30,000 feet.
didn't use their actual names because they were afraid that the game wasn't licensed to be, or
20
wasn't,
minutes to drop off.
Commencing
internal depressurization.
Guild SAG approval. They didn't think that they could put in their real names if they get in trouble.
All right.
Oh, really?
Ready to go.
Yeah, that was like back when video games
Showing a high
didn't
pressure
voice over
mass.
stuff.
Cab okay.
Crazy.
Good. We've got high visibility.
And facial scars.
Yes. That Kojima guy.
Put out that cigar.
Fukushima wrote this? Isn't that the guy
Connecting
who
oxygen hose
irradiated
to interior
Japan?
connector.
No, it's a guy who was
Put on your
irradiated in
mask.
Japan, who it was named after. They're really sore about that still, buddy.
You're like,
You can tell in all these games.
Know what he's doing?
you're like too soon, asshole.
Yeah.
Approaching release point.
10 minutes to drop off.
Hey, are you deaf?
He said put out the cigar and put on your mask.
So we're playing this on the PS3, but we're doing the HD Legacy collection.
Depressurization
I'm already
complete.
annoyed with the credits.
Checking oxygen supply.
6
minutes to drop off. Opening rear hatch.
There's some pretty great cutscenes.
I'm gonna open your rear hatch.
Sunrise.
I call it a Halo jump, but I didn't know you could Halo jump in the plane. Like, some shit.
External temperature minus 46 degrees Celsius.
Right.
2 minutes to
That's
drop
cold
off.
Celsius.
Stand up.
I'm pretty sure the guys who made this weren't actually military.
You'll be falling at 150
They're
miles
basically
per
just
hour.
spitballing all this shit.
You'd be surprised. A lot of this stuff is like they really
1 minute
draw
to
from
drop off.
different
Move
aspects
to the
of
rear.
military and stuff.
Activate the alarm funnel.
But yeah,
This is one for
obviously
the
this is
history books. The world's first Halo jump.
10 seconds to drop off. Stand by. Status okay.
There's a guy
All
again.
green.
Fuck, man, what a glory hog.
Man, you think he had something to do with this game?
4, 3, 2, 1.
Spread your
This game's
wings.
brought to you by me.
Yes.
God be with you.
I also produced it. I wrote it. I
I started it.
started it.
That's not how you jump out of a plane. This game is very Japanese, by the way.
I haven't seen one schoolgirl yet. What are you talking about?
Jack,
There
I've got
aren't
some
any in this
important
game.
news.
There are in the
Head
next
of the
one.
CIA has finally
Alright.
given us the green light for the virtuous mission.
Virtual
And a
mission.
terrible camera.
No,
Yes.
the virtuous mission. The future of our Fox
It's a
unit
flashback.
depends on it. If it
Memories are
succeeds, we'll
always
be
fuzzy.
officially organized into a unit.
Gotcha.
Virtuous mission. Sounds like some kind of initiation ritual.
You know, don't get cocky. This isn't a training op.
Right. So what exactly is this wonderful mission?
Well, about 2 years ago, A certain Soviet scientist requested asylum in the West through one of our moles.
Stock footage.
His name is Nikolai Stepanovich Sokolov. He's head of the OKB-754 Design Bureau, one of the Soviets' top-secret weapons research facilities, and the East's foremost expert on weapons development.
Sokolov.
And he looks super evil.
Oh, yes.
The very same.
He's got the monocle.
On April 12,
Last time.
1961, the Soviets achieved the first manned spaceflight in history.
The Earth was blue, but there was no God.
Well spoken. The rocket that carried Yuri Gagarin to orbit was the A-1, known as the Vostok rocket. Sokolov is said to be the man most responsible for the multi-engine cluster used in that rocket. After Gagarin's flight, Sokolov
riveted.
left rocket
Yeah, I know.
development
It's a history
to become
lesson.
the head of the newly established Design Bureau.
There's a lot of this.
From a lowly technician to head
And
of the
a
design
classical
bureau,
ballet
that's
dancer.
quite a success story.
No, it's
So
like, I
what
don't want to
was
interrupt
effect?
because it's important, but at the
It
same
seems
time,
he'd
it's
become
like so
afraid of his own
boring.
creations.
Afraid.
Call it a crisis of conscience.
And for that, he
Or
left his
crisis of
country and his family behind and went over the fence?
Not exactly. One of his conditions was that his family was also to be taken safely to the west. He used a mole to get the
They were
family
also
out
thrown
first
over the
and
fence.
succeeded
Oh.
in sneaking Sokolov over the Berlin Wall shortly afterwards. I was the one who conducted the operation.
Berlin Wall. Everybody talks about
Security
it.
on the
It's a
eastern
big deal.
side was still full of
Not
holes
as
back
big as
then.
the Great Wall of China.
Then what?
We got Sokolov over in one piece. The whole ordeal had left him exhausted, and we checked him into a hospital in West Berlin.
So we gave him a nap.
2 weeks and more than 600 miles to get from the research facility in the Soviet Union to Berlin. He was in no condition to say anything coherent. And it was only a week later.
What the fuck did they do to that guy?
Bigger on our
I do not know.
The Cuban Missile Crisis.
Maybe we'll find
October
out.
16, 1962, President Kennedy received word that the Soviets were in the process of deploying intermediate-range ballistic missiles in Cuba.
I thought this was supposed to be fictitious. What the
President
hell?
allowed
I told you,
Soviets
man.
to
They draw
remove
from reality.
missiles. At the same time,
Don't
he
worry.
announced a
When you start
naval
seeing the
blockade
giant
to prevent
robots, it'll be like,
further
oh yeah,
missile
this is
shipments
fake.
from reaching Cuba.
I'm like, you know,
But the
Kennedy
Soviets
was a real
didn't back
guy.
down,
I know that
instead
much.
placing
Yes.
their armed forces on secondary alert.
I'm sure
Soviet
Sokolov's a real
ships
guy.
carrying missiles
Probably not in
continued
charge
on
of the
course towards Cuba.
Soviet rocket
US and Soviet
program.
forces went on alert for an all-out nuclear war. Frantic negotiations were conducted through the UN's Emergency Security Council and...
No, this is definitely set in
And
like an
hair trigger
alternate
standard.
reality.
Finally, on October the 28th, the Soviet Union agreed to remove its missiles from Cuba. And so the world avoided a nuclear
And announced a
holocaust.
Halloween party.
And the
But in order
Cuban
to get
Missile
the Soviets
Crisis
to pull
was
their
over.
missiles out, we had to make a deal.
You mean the one where the U.S.
Said
agreed to
Shiatsu.
move its
Teach you anything.
IRBMs
Lots
from
of
Turkey?
No. The Jupiter
That is what you get
IRBMs
from
deployed
Cuba,
in
people
Turkey
on
were
RAS.
obsolete. And we were gonna
We had to
get rid
move
of
our
them anyway.
BMs from Turkey.
Had no strategic value whatsoever
my.
to either the US or the Russians. The Turkey deal was a ruse. A cover
Turkey
story
deal was a
fed to
ruse.
The other intelligence
T-shirt.
agencies around the world.
So what did the Russians really want?
Sokolov. They wanted us to return Sokolov.
You mean the
Sokolov.
Soviets pulled out of Cuba just to get their hands on
You
Sokolov?
mean?
That's right.
What the hell was he working on?
At the time, we had no idea.
Pretty awesome shit.
Yes.
We were running out of time.
Wait,
It was either give up Sokolov or risk full-scale
at the time you
nuclear
had no
war.
idea, or now
And
you don't
we
have
had
no
choice.
idea? I'm confused.
President Kennedy
At
gave
the
in to
time,
Khrushchev's
I have no
demand.
idea.
It's like, what?
The next day, I got Sokolov.
Do you or don't
out
you
of the
know?
hospital,
Get to the
handing
truth.
him over to agents on the eastern side. Sokolov kept
So
on screaming,
President
"Save me,"
Kennedy
until he
negotiated with
disappeared
terrorists
Yes.
and fucked Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah.
Wow.
twice. Then a month ago, we received
job,
some
Kennedy.
new information from one of our moles.
Nothing bad could happen to someone like that. Oh.
No.
Yes.
Oh.
He was taken back to the research facility and forced to continue working on the weapon in question under KGB supervision. What's more, it's on the verge.
Forced mathematics.
So what kind of weapon is it? Something
You
to do
do
with
math.
space rockets?
You do math now.
No, missiles.
those Russians? What?
I guess you're right.
A little
I don't know the details, but it
Russian,
appears to be
a
new
little
kind of nuclear device.
Austrian,
For half a
Alright,
year now, the
alright.
Soviets
Everything.
have been conducting frequent nuclear tests at
a
semi.
Go back to
belligerent
doing-
language.
Something to do
Go
with
back
the
to doing
weapon, I assume.
maths
We're
now.
talking about a secret weapon so big that Khrushchev was ready to pull out of Cuba.
Robot.
Is Sokolov still in the facility?
No, according to our intelligence, he's in Selino Yask.
He died
Place
20
in
years
the
ago.
mountains, about 3 miles to the west.
He's
known
not
as
to
the
worry
Virgin
about. Oh,
Cliffs.
there's gonna be a boss in here, by the way,
Virgin
that we're gonna beat in
Cliffs.
an awesome way.
Nice name for
Are we gonna
virtuous
de-virginize
mission.
those cliffs?
They moved
Ooh,
in there
wait, why
just
now?
recently.
Why?
Apparently, they're
Why?
conducting a field test of the weapon, but it's our best chance to get him back. This mission would never have been possible if he was still in the research facility. This is our last chance. Sokolov must have known that too when he contacted us.
So now that there's gonna be gameplay, right? At some point. At some point, we're going to.
Oh, so there's this cool thing during cutscenes sometimes. I can press the R1 button and like look through his eyes. It'll stay in the other
Back to jumping out of a plane. Still jumping out of a plane.
Well, it wasn't
Let's see
Halo yet.
every moment of this
Listen up,
jump.
Jack. Your mission is to
You're
infiltrate
here.
Selino Yask in the Soviet mountains, ensure the safety of
Look around.
Sokolov,
We
and
just
bring
found
him
out
back
his
to
name
the
is
west.
Jack, by the way.
Who's Jack?
Hey?
If we don't get
Jack
Sokolov
Snake?
back
Jack
before
Snake.
that weapon is
Big Jack.
complete, we'll be facing a major crisis. The clock is ticking.
Jack Snake Plissken?
Yes. And I can look around again in the scene.
Once we've
Did you
confirmed
look
the
up?
rescue, Sokolov, stand by
Fuck
at the
sound
recovery
logo.
point.
Inside of your
The
umbrella.
recovery balloon will be dropped at
All
that
right.
point.
Parachute.
Helium will be
Not
pumped
umbrella.
into the balloon to inflate it. The process takes about 20
Like,
minutes.
is he in the rain?
Once it's complete, the gunship's arm will latch onto the balloon and pull it up.
The Fulton surface-to-air recovery system. I'm familiar with the theory.
Take it easy. It's been combat proven.
They love their military jargon in this
Do you think Sokolov is
frickin'
up to
series,
it?
man.
The shock will be less than during a parachute jump, and the arm can handle up to 500 pounds.
So you're planning on going over the border in a single combat talent?
She's equipped with two 6-barrel 20mm Vulcan cannons, as well as two 40mm machine guns.
Yeah.
Sounds
Too
like
much
she can override
information.
some entire
Tons
tanks.
of exposition.
Even with the fuel in the reserve tank, we're
Square
facing a
field.
4-hour
the
time
codex
limit.
scenes.
If all goes well, it shouldn't take more than a few hours.
Home in time for dinner.
But if anything goes wrong,
Kojima's
be
never heard of the
eating
less is
dinner,
more
breakfast.
approach.
all the rest of your meals in the jungle.
He's like this. He's the Stanley Kubrick of video
It
games.
really is.
They're like they're great, but they're like just everything is 3 times longer than it should be.
And how?
He's been jumping out of this plane for 45 minutes.
Oh, I know. That's the longest Halo jump ever. And here's the other thing too. Like, just think of how long those chat sequences were on the NES. Like, that was huge for that time too.
Yeah. Super wordy, man. Super wordy.
Uh-oh.
I'm being attacked by foliage. Everywhere. Watch out for that.
Cliff.
Watch out for those virgin cliffs. They don't know what they're doing. They're not
All right. Time to activate Japanese mode. Go.
Was he have an Ultraman pill?
No. Well, I do have a pill though that I can take. It's pretty awesome. I'll show you.
It just gives him a boner. Don't need that.
Don't need that shit. Just leave that shit right there for someone to find.
Yep.
Reveal.
Wait, reveal? Reveal.
Not yet. Not yet.
Reveal.
There it is.
Anticipation. Snake, David Hayter. Alright, great.
Move along, game. Anytime.
Now, is his face painted, or is that just a horrible birthmark?
Yes.
Awesome.
It's camouflage.
What do they do with the camels?
Do you copy?
They flage them.
You're already in enemy territory, and somebody might be listening in.
It's not a.
From here on out, we'll be using
delicate
code
or
names
pretty
to refer
process.
to each other. Your code name for this mission will be Naked Snake. I'll be referring to you as Snake
What?
from now on. You're not to mention your real name.
Snake?
Oh, you don't like
Snake?
snakes?
What do you mean?
You've eaten one before, haven't you?
In survival training.
What does that have to
I'm
do
glad
with
to hear that.
anything?
I don't know if I'd ever order one in a restaurant, but...
Be careful, you might not have a choice.
What about you, Major?
Oh, we definitely don't
what
have a
should I
choice.
call you?
Let's see. I'll be Tom. Call me Major Tom. This will be a sneaking
fucking
mission.
hell.
All right,
You must not be
Can
seen
you hear me,
by the
Major
enemy.
Tom?
You
right.
must leave no
Ground
trace
control,
of your presence.
and that's not even the
Is that
reason.
clear?
You'll find out later.
This kind of infiltration is the Fox unit's
Like,
specialty.
at least that would be acceptable.
In other words, weapons and equipment are procured on site. That goes for food as well. You're completely naked,
give you
just
guns,
as your
go fuck
name
yourself.
implies.
Great. Now I see why you asked me if I like snakes. I suppose calling me Snake was your idea of a joke, too.
No, there's a good reason for that.
No.
I'll tell you later when the time is right.
Gotcha.
Tell me now,
Getting back to
asshole.
the subject, how exactly am I supposed to feed myself?
You've been issued a knife and a tranquilizer gun.
Murder.
Use them to hunt for food. You'll also find some medical supplies in your backpack.
Yeah, about the backpack. I lost it in a tree on the way down.
Well, go get it, you bitch.
I see. Well, you'd better go back and get it then. You know where it is?
No problem. I can see it from here. It's stuck on a branch.
Then why'd you bring it up?
To climb a tree, stand in front of a tree that's covered in ivy and press the action button.
And press the action button.
I'll be monitoring your progress over the radio.
I can change his.
We can't
picture
risk
too, like
violating Soviet airspace, but I'll be in the gunship. My frequency
I wonder
is
what he looks like in profile. Oh, it's much stronger in
140.85.
profile.
Yeah.
I'll give you a call
Look at
if
that,
I
Major
need to talk
Tom.
to you.
Woo.
If you need to talk to me, use the send function. Okay, Snake, go get
I'll
your
go fuck
backpack.
yourself. Okay, Snake, go get your backpack. It's the guy from Team America.
Yeah. All right. First things first. I got nothing. I got nothing.
Why? Once again, why do they airdrop you in with nothing?
I know.
This is the worst military ever.
It really is.
Are they going to detect if you have a handgun?
Yeah. There's no
What the
excuse. Give me AK-47. It's a sneaking mission.
I wanted you to go in there like a snake,
Like on your belly.
on your belly, with no legs. We've tied your legs and your head on your back. Now you really are a snake.
More calls.
Solid snake, snaky
I
snake.
see you've retrieved your backpack, Snake.
Sneaky snake.
To equip a weapon, it's necessary
Jesus,
to take
I'll
it out
figure
of
it
your
out. Leave me
backpack.
alone.
In the survival viewer,
Can't
choose the
Hold on.
read
weapon
this too
from the
because some of it's
backpack.
exposition.
Your available weapons will
Wait,
be
I
displayed
take
in
the
a
stuff
window
out of
in
the
the
backpack?
upper left.
Wait,
From
hold
that
on.
list, choose the weapon you want to
I
equip
put it in the
and press
backpack
the
if I want
enter
to
button.
use it. Yes?
For other equipped items,
Press
just
the
do
enter
the same
button.
thing from item.
Got it. Use the survival viewer backpack.
Yep, that's right. Survival is fundamental
That's
to this
right.
mission. After you've been out in the field
And
for a while,
stupid.
your stamina
Yes.
will start to drop. If your stamina gets too low, it'll affect your performance. You won't be able to shoot
So eat
accurately,
one of the
for
natives.
example. Your wounds
Well.
won't heal as smoothly. Keep an eye on your stamina so you don't run out.
Yeah, there's
I
no
like
To
direct
recover
healing really
lost
in this
stamina,
one.
you can
I like
hunt for
rough
local
wounds.
flora and fauna. You can use either your tranquilizer gun or your
Who's she?
knife to hunt.
My
Wait,
only
what?
weapon is a Mark
Laura?
22
Sounds
Hush
hot.
Puppy tranquilizer gun.
That's right. It's been fitted with its own suppressor.
That's right.
However, the suppressor will deteriorate every time you fire. Once its durability
fucking
reaches zero,
hell.
the
Yeah.
noise suppression effect will be gone. So don't get too trigger happy with it.
This game is rough.
Suppressor's durability is shown in the icon. Any weapons and equipment beyond what you're carrying now, you'll have to find as you go.
I have to find my own
The
weapons.
suppressor
and
was
equipment.
advanced enough to
Whose
have
crazy idea was
monitoring
this
functions.
anyway?
Yeah.
Solo
Not so
covert
advanced
actions
enough to
are
last
standard
longer
Fox
than a
operating
minute.
procedure. You can't leave any traces of your presence. No weapons, equipment,
Except all that shit you
footprints,
left.
sweat, or bodily waste.
Yeah, right.
The same goes for
Your
bullets
parachute
and
that
cartridges,
says
too.
what unit you're
Your
from,
presence in
asshole.
enemy territory is already a violation of international conventions of warfare. There aren't supposed to be any American soldiers in Russia. It could spark an international incident.
Like an
You can't
international
let anyone
incident.
see you. You can't let the enemy know you're there.
And if you
It's a
get
stealth
captured,
mission.
speak
You're a
Canadian.
ghost, Snake, in every sense of the word.
Eh?
There'll be no rescue if you're captured. The military and US government will deny any involvement in the affair.
Then I'll just have
How
to
do you,
take
how do you
care
speak
of
Canadian?
myself,
Just,
huh?
You're really nice. You say
I'm
A a
afraid
lot.
so.
and
That's
just
pretty much
Given a
you
fake
only eat
death
at Tim
pill for that
Hortons.
purpose. SAS guidelines stipulate that soldiers on covert ops like this one be issued a potassium cyanide capsule. Tape it to your body so you can take it when you need to.
How generous of you.
Use it if you're taken prisoner by the enemy. It'll send you into a state of false death for a short time.
Fooling them into thinking that I'm really dead. So, how do I come back to life?
Just take the revival pill.
You mean that thing they put in my tooth before the mission?
That's the one. But be careful. If you remain in a state of false death for too long, nothing will be able to bring you back. Remember that.
I'll keep it in mind.
How do you take the pill if you're in false death?
Right.
It's
I
in
guess
your
that
tooth.
means I can't count on
But
any reinforcements.
But you're in false death.
Correct.
You
The
just take it,
mission
it's in your
rests
tooth, dude.
entirely in your hands.
A
Come on,
real
you're unconscious,
one-man
but it's in your
army.
tooth.
Relax. There's a
He
support
feels
team ready to
asleep.
back you up over the radio.
Who?
I'll introduce them to you.
He feels
This
dead.
time, survival is of utmost
The
importance.
support team's on the radio.
First
They're
member
not
of the
actually going to
support team
show
will
up,
be
but
in
they're on the
charge of
radio.
monitoring your physical
They will
condition,
support you with
acting
moral
as a
support.
medic, so to speak, as well as recording your mission
Yeah.
data. She's a member of
Keep
Fox
up the
as
good
well,
work,
and
Snake.
she's here
Yeah.
on the gunship with me.
Thanks.
She.
Hello, Snake. I'm
Gee.
paramedic. Nice to meet you.
So
Paramedic.
we've been recording for
As an
what,
medic who
25
comes in by
minutes now,
parachute.
something like that.
Aren't you going to tell me
and
your
we
real
have
name?
yet to get to any
Are you going
actual
to tell me
gameplay
yours,
other
Mr.
than me
Snake?
getting my backpack.
My name, huh?
Are you going to tell me yours?
John Doe.
And they call you Jack for short. You're a regular Captain Nemo.
I was
A name
Jack
means
short for
nothing on
John.
the battlefield. After a week, no one has a name.
John is
What's
short
your
for
name?
John.
Jane Doe.
Very funny.
I wasn't joking, but I'll tell you my name only if you manage to make it back alive. My
I don't care about
frequency
you
is
that much, not even that hot.
145.73.
She's also in charge of recording your mission data. Whenever you want to save,
Oh, yeah,
send
click
a
that.
message over the reserved save frequency, 140.96.
So saving lets me record my mission data.
That's right. It also records the state of your health.
Good to know.
There's one more person I want to introduce you to, Snake.
It's your
Speaking of
grandmother,
snakes,
Snake.
You remember the boss, don't you? A legendary soldier and your mentor. Actually, it was the
How are
boss
you
who got the
introducing me to my
DCI's
mentor?
authorization in the first place. She's going to be serving as Fox's mission advisor.
Boss is?
She also helped me plan this mission. She and I were at SAS together.
Ladies can't be the boss.
Jack, is that you? How many years is it then?
Boss?
That's right. It's me.
That's right, it's me.
Talk to me. Let me hear your voice.
It's been 5 years, 72 days, and 18 hours.
Oh, God.
You've lost weight.
You can tell just by the sound of my voice.
Of course I can. I know all about you.
Really?
You
Well, I
pooped
don't
twice
know
today,
anything
didn't you,
about
Snake?
What's that supposed to mean?
Why'd you disappear on me all of a sudden?
I was on a top secret mission.
Be like,
You didn't
you
need
gained
me
weight.
anymore.
But there were still so many things I wanted you to teach
You
me.
could tell just by my
No.
voice. He's like, no, you
I
always been a
taught
fat
you
bitch.
everything you needed to know about fighting techniques. I taught you all I could. The rest you needed to learn on your own.
Techniques, sure.
Emotional
But what
fighting,
about how to
Snake.
think like a soldier?
How to think like a soldier?
And my
I can't
feelings.
teach you that. A soldier needs to
All
be
the
strong in
feels.
spirit, body, and technique.
Ugh.
And the only thing you can learn from someone else
can we
is
get, like-
technique.
Can we
In
get Snake
fact,
like a wolf
technique
shirt or
doesn't even
something?
matter.
This is like
What's most important is spirit. Spirit
It's
and body are
spirit,
like two sides of a
Barsnar.
single
Yeah.
coin. They're the same thing.
no.
I
It's how
can't
well you
teach
shoot
how
a
to
gun.
think.
Mm-hmm.
You'll just have to figure it out for yourself. Listen to me, Jack. Just because soldiers are on the same side right now doesn't mean they always will be. Having personal feelings about your comrades is one of the
Feelings about your
worst sins you
comrades.
can commit. Politics determine who you face on the battlefield.
Really?
And
Because they're
politics
supposed
are a
to keep
living
you alive,
thing.
so
They change along with the times. Yesterday's good might be tomorrow's evil.
Is that why you abandoned me?
No, it had nothing
he's
to
got
do
issues.
with you. I already told you, Jack. I was on a top secret mission. A soldier has to follow
Of
whatever
pregnancy.
orders he's given. It's not his place to question why. But you're looking for a reason to fight. You are a natural-born fighter.
if you make
But
it
you're not
back,
quite a
I want you to
soldier.
meet Little Snake.
A soldier is a political tool, nothing more. That's doubly true if he's a career soldier. Right and wrong have no place in his mission. He has no enemies and no friends. Only the mission. You follow the orders.
There
you're
is
given.
only Zool,
That's
like
what
the
being
Joker
a
in this
soldier
one.
is.
right?
I do whatever I have to get the job done. I don't think about politics.
That's not the same thing.
don't
Sooner or
think about
later, your
politics.
conscience is going to bother you. In the
Can I
end,
shoot things
you
now,
have to
please?
choose whether you're going to live as a soldier or just another man with a gun. There's a saying in
Really
the
up their own
Orient,
ass.
loyalty
story,
to
man.
the end. Do you
It's-
know what it means?
Like it should have just started with
It
him
means
going to the
devoting
dentist, where they like
yourself to
walk me
your
through his entire
I
root
follow the
canal.
president and the top brass.
In the
I'm ready
revival
to die
pill.
for them if
Yeah.
necessary.
The president
Like,
and the top
Him
brass
paying the
won't be there
bill,
forever.
you know?
Once their
He, like,
time's
Oh,
up,
he reaches
others
for his
will take
pockets. He
their
doesn't have enough
place.
cash. He
I
has to go to the
follow will of
ATM.
the leader,
Yeah, you like
no
wait
matter
while he
who's
does
in
the
charge.
paperwork.
People aren't the ones
And he's
who
actually
dictate the
filling it,
missions.
checking each
Then who
box.
does?
The times.
Fuck.
People's values change
The
over
time. The newspaper?
And so do the leaders of a country.
I don't think.
So there's
I
no
don't know,
such
did they have
thing
the
as an
Times back
enemy in
the
absolute terms.
early 70s.
The enemies
All
we
the time,
fight
yes.
are only enemies in relative terms, constantly changing with the times.
Leave my relatives out of this.
As long as we have loyalty to the end, there's no point in believing
He went
in
to the
anything,
Harrison Ford School of
even in those
Dictation.
we love.
And that's the way a soldier's supposed to think.
The only thing we can believe in with absolute certainty is the mission, Jack.
All right, but do me a
When
favor.
is this verbal
What
shiatsu
is
gonna
it?
end?
Call me Snake.
I
Snake.
don't know because I skipped it
Oh,
last
right.
time.
Your code name is Snake. It suits you well.
That's right. The
Call me
legendary
Snake.
unit that the boss
I
put
thought you'd be
together during
taller.
World War II was a snake. The Cobra unit, a group of heroes that brought the war to an end and saved the world. As long as you've got
Save
a
the world.
legendary hero backing you up, you'll be fine. Isn't that right, Snake?
Yeah, I can't think of anyone else I'd rather have with me. Oh, and one more thing, boss.
Yes,
It's good to hear your voice again.
same here.
You've gotten
After
fat.
all, who knows if either of us will make it out alive? Snake, you are always best at urban warfare and
It must-
infiltrating buildings.
It must
But
be
this is
pretty
the
dangerous
jungle.
up there in the radio
Survival is
tower.
going to be key. Those CQC techniques I taught you are sure to come in handy.
CQC.
What?
Close quarters combat, huh? I've been in the Green Berets
Oh,
for the
thank
past
God.
few years. I'm probably pretty rusty.
Not
that-
to
what?
worry. I'll
What?
be here to
What
help
does that
you
mean? Green
remember.
Berets don't use
After
CQC?
all, this is your first actual survival mission. I'll be supporting you over the radio.
Ugh.
Where are you,
I'm gonna put in
boss?
skip
Next to the major.
at the
The
annotations.
boss is
at the bottom or
communicating with
something.
us by radio from aboard a Permit-class submarine in the Arctic Ocean.
My frequency is 141.80. Call me if you need my
So
advice
she's in a
on
submarine?
battle techniques.
Right?
Gotcha.
Your
We might
mission
not
is
make it
to
out alive,
retrieve
except
Dr.
I'm in a
Sokolov.
fucking submarine.
We can go wherever we
Dr.
want.
Sokolov is being held in an abandoned factory located to the north of your current position. Avoid heavy
Always an
combat and
abandoned
don't let
factory,
anyone
by the
see
way.
you.
Yes.
Don't
Very.
forget that this is a stealth mission.
I want to know what kind of factory this
Wait.
is because it doesn't look like it's very large.
It's a stealth mission. As if there's ever been a mission where they drop him in with like symbols.
Flares and the laser
Yeah.
guns. Pew pew pew.
Snake, I want you to make this look like a West Hollywood parade.
But we're going for Bollywood here.
Dang, dang, dang.
Love
dang.
Bollywood.
Virtuous mission. Now.